Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're actually going to be touring Casa Cuesta Electro, which is one of the best stores in Punta Cana for all your electrical needs, for all the household appliances, a lot of the small kitchen appliances as well. So we're going to be touring the entire store. You're going to be able to see all the prices and of course how they work, if they deliver, and a bunch of other questions that you may have of course when trying to furnish of course your beautiful new apartment or house in Punta Cana. So stay tuned and let's go check it out. Guys, we're now located on the inside of the store Casa Cuesta Electro. This is a relatively new establishment, opened roughly, if I'm not mistaken, 2 to 3 years ago, but it's absolutely beautiful. It has a lot of the essential things that you may need. And actually, what I really love about it as well is its location, because it's only 5 minutes away from the airport of Punta Cana, right? So you don't have to drive deep down into Bávaro or any more local areas. You're right here, 5 minutes away from the airport. We're gonna kick off the tour of the store with kitchen appliances. I know a lot of you, or especially when purchasing a new home or apartment, do need to of course get the kitchen appliances. So we're gonna check out what they actually have available here. We're gonna start off with the section of the fridges. Now naturally there's a range of options you can get, starting at the more affordable ones to the very top of the line brands. We're gonna start with the top of the line just because they're right here, right? They're the first ones that are kind of exposed as soon as you walk in the store. So here we have Samsung Bespoke. Probably a lot of you know about this line of Samsung. It's the absolute best that they have. And here we even have a fridge that does have a digital display you can interact with. It's super smart, amazing. I very much love this fridge myself. And this one, just so you guys have an idea, something like this in the Dominican Republic is gonna cost you roughly $4,200, right? To get a very smart Samsung Bespoke fridge. But if we head this way, of course, we do have some other options of the Bespoke line. This one is actually discounted right now and it's 114,000 pesos, so roughly $2,000 for this one, which is still absolutely beautiful. Besides Samsung, we do have a variety of other brands in the store as well. We have Hisense, we have Frigidaire, Whirlpool, KitchenAid as well. So you do have a variety of brands you can choose from, of course, should you not want to just stick with Samsung naturally. For example, a fridge like this, which is still a very decent fridge and a good size fridge too, you can get for roughly $800. Again, with 2 doors as well. You have the freezer on one side and the fridge on the other side, and we do have the water dispenser as well. Now, besides these, if we keep going over there in the store, I just wanted to show you that there's also Whirlpool, and for example, Frigidaire here, which is a popular brand too. We have something like this also for about $800-700 that you guys can get. Guys, before we end the fridge tour, I also wanted to show you that there's also these options should you need a smaller fridge, say for a studio apartment, or in general, this is what fits. This is also available. So we have fridges for roughly $280. They do come, of course, with a space for a freezer and also just a regular size fridge over here. So we do have these as well. We have different brands. This is actually Midea, which is another popular brand locally here. There's a lot of these. And we have Conex, and again, a bunch of others as well you can find in Casa Cuesta. Another thing that you guys can get here, for example, this is very useful for the lockout units. Should you not have space for that full-size fridge, you can get this mini executive fridge. Something like this, for example, that looks very aesthetic and does fit the space that you need, or for office spaces as well, it works perfectly fine. This one is going to be roughly $300 for a small fridge like this, but we do have different brands too. We have Holstein as well at roughly $250 with different colors and designs, and we even have a small one like this by Frigidaire that even has a freezer on top, right? Something like this again would be roughly $230. Besides the mini executive fridges, we also have a variety of wine coolers, right? Which is of course important should you want to have a wine cooler in your apartment. They are displayed over here. We have different options as well. We have this one, which is actually very thin and vertical, should that fit your space best, by Drija as well, this one is going to be about $500 for something like this, or more regular and standard size, we're going to be looking at about $800-900 for one, which is this side by the same brand of Drija. But again, it really depends on the space you're trying to fit it into. There's a variety of options for your wine coolers. Guys, we're going to continue by checking out the different range and hood options here. We have a wide range of those as well, both freestanding and the built-in ones. We're going to start with the built-in ones. So for example, here, again, we have a lot of different brands. You have KitchenAid as well. For example, this one is actually currently discounted. It has 5 burners and it's priced at around $1,200 for a KitchenAid range, which is a built-in one. Of course, we also have a hood over here, which is priced at about $1,000 as well, both from KitchenAid, both the range and the hood. And guys, continuing down this way, we also have different brand options. So we have Drija here, which is a very popular brand in Latin America. Not sure if it's very present in the US and Canada, but we do have a lot of it here. It's actually from Panama originally. We have a gas range here with 5 burners for roughly $350. And we have a hood that matches that for roughly $500 over here that you can see on this end. And as I was mentioning, different brands over here. We have Whirlpool as well. And we have KitchenAid appliances, Frigidaire appliances, a lot of the different ones that you can find. On this side, we have the range options, of course, with the stove and the oven integrated. Just to give you guys an idea, something like this, which is Frigidaire, is gonna run you roughly $1,400 for an appliance of this caliber. But as I was mentioning, we definitely have different ones. For example, here we have General Electrics as well, GE. This one over here is gonna be roughly $700 for a range like this. Just to give you some more options here as well, for example, we have a Whirlpool gas range over here for $500. Again, nice looking too, and it does have 6 burners even. And to see something a little bit different too, that I just noticed, I haven't even seen this before in the store, we actually now have an induction range as well, which is very interesting, by the brand Electrolux, which is a higher end as well appliance brand. And this one, for example, runs you 380,000 pesos, which should be about $7,000. So again, one of the higher range appliances that is fully induction based, is also very interesting to know that you can find that also in Casa Cuesta Electro. Now guys, we're going to be checking out the microwave options we have in Casa Cuesta Electro. Again, a wide range here too. We have microwaves starting for as low as roughly $80 for something like this. This would be $80. This would be roughly $90, $100. And again, something like a Whirlpool one, which this one is a bit of a newer brand from what I can tell. This one is actually gonna be about $250 for a microwave like this. Now we do have other options too. Should you need a built-in microwave, which of course is a bit more aesthetic depending on your apartment or house, we do have those as well over here. This is Panasonic actually, and this one starts at roughly $300 for a built-in microwave. But as I mentioned, there's definitely something for everybody depending on the style you're looking for. And we're now going to be taking a look at some air fryer options, which of course is a very popular household appliance nowadays. So for example, we do have a variety of brands there too. We can take a look at, for example, Cuisine Art, which is a really popular brand and a very good one too. For example, something like this would turn out to be roughly $180, $200. Then moving over here, we can look at other brands too. We have Black Decker, for example, which is roughly $140, which does have a pretty good size as well. And we have a very big one here. The brand is called Power XXL, and that one you can get for $200 US, but it's even bigger than the ones that we've seen so far. Now let's check out some of the coffee machines you can get for your home. There's a variety of those too. We do have the standard drip coffee machines like you commonly have in the US, right? So those, for example, we have different brands of. We're gonna start with, of course, Kitchenette and Cuisinart, which are in my opinion at least here, the best brands that are displayed at the moment. For example, a drip machine here would be roughly $150 for a Cuisinart one, and a little more, 170, 180 for the KitchenAid one. And of course, we do have a couple of options of the professional espresso machines too, which I noticed immediately. I'm a huge coffee lover, right? So when I see something like this, I love it, right? So here we have the KitchenAid espresso machine, which has a bunch of things that I don't even know how to use, but definitely looks fantastic. And this one, for example, does come out to roughly $1,300 for a KitchenAid, slightly more professional espresso machine. Now, continuing down this way is where you're gonna find different brands, of course, besides the two that we just saw. We also have Black Decker, we have some more Oster, and another different general types of brands that you can get. For example, I see here another espresso machine by Black Decker, which of course is more simple, but something like this you can get for roughly $200 right? One of these, and again, it just goes on and on. They definitely have a bunch of different options you can get. Now we're in the section where we can check out all those small kitchen appliances that we can typically find in a kitchen. Again, I'm not going to record absolutely every section because there's definitely a lot of it, but just so you guys see what there is. So for example, we have the hand mixers as well. These are going to be about $20, $30 each. So it's pretty affordable as well. On this side, we actually have the panini presses. We have toasters. And just to give you a general idea, a panini press like this would be roughly $80, right? For something like this. We do have the more professional ones. We have this one by Cuisinart, which is absolutely massive and pretty heavy too. This one, of course, is going to be a bit more expensive. So you're gonna looking at roughly $400, $380 for something like this. And again, we have the smaller ones. This one, for example, is gonna be about $20. Again, different ranges depending on what you guys are looking for. And on this side, we even have the waffle makers, which are so cute. Look at this. Oh, this is actually for eggs. Very cute. But we do have waffle makers as well. So something like this is gonna be $40, 40 here too. Look at the size of this, it's so cute. Here we also have $40. Again, a bunch of different appliances that you can get. Another cool appliance I wanted to mention that I purchased for my home that I love, I think is the one I use most, is the ice maker like this. It's not the one that you need to connect with a water source at all. Or for example, if you don't have a fridge that dispenses ice like I don't at the moment, you can buy this. It's super easy to use. Basically, you just lift this up, you fill it with water manually, you turn it on, and it just makes ice non-stop. When it fills, it does give you a sign it's full, but it takes, I think, 3 to 4 minutes to make a batch of ice, and it just keeps filling all the time. I love it. For example, something like this you can get for $150, but in my case, at least, if you don't have that fridge that dispenses ice, very useful, especially in Punta Cana. You do need as much as ice you can possibly get. We also have, for example, a selection of these. If you guys want a hand blender by Cuisinart, there's a bunch of those too. This is going to be roughly $80. We also have Black Decker, Cuisinart, and some interesting gadgets as well. For example, a vacuum sealer, which is very cool. This one, for example, would be $150, $160. We even have an electric wine opener by Hamilton Beach. Very cool gadget as well. and that one is going to be about 40, 30, 40 US dollars approximately, right? On top of that, we do have different pots, pans, rice cookers, right? All of that is available right here in Casa Cuesta Electro. Guys, we're now in the washer and dryer section of the store. We do have a bunch of options here as well. I wanted to explain a little bit what's popular in the Dominican Republic compared to the US and Europe. In the Dominican Republic, you're going to find a lot of the top load washers. This is the most common scenario. We're gonna have a washer that you essentially load from the top. This is not my personal favorite type of washer because in my opinion, and I was raised in Europe, right? The front load washers actually do a much better job at cleaning clothes. But again, there's a different culture as well. And this is the most popular in the Dominican Republic to get a top load washer. So just to give you an idea, a top load washer by Samsung is going to be roughly 550 US dollars for something like this. Then coming down this way, we even have Whirlpool. Again, depending on the size, the price is also going to vary. This one over here, that actually the size is 35 pounds. And this is going to be roughly 450, 500 US dollars for a 35-pound top load washer. Now, if we continue this way, I'm going to show you guys a couple of options for the front load ones. For example, we have a Samsung one here, which is a front load one. This is just the washer, not the dryer. And this one is going to be roughly 900 US dollars. Again, this is a very big one with 20 kilos. And again, absolutely beautiful. I love Samsung appliances, if you haven't noticed from this video. I think they have fantastic washer and dryers. And let's go check out over here. We actually have some of the more pricier ones, of course, but one of the top of the lines of Samsung. We actually have the smart washing machines as well. For example, this one is currently discounted from 1,500 down to 1,200 US dollars for a washer like this, which is a bigger one. This one fits 24 kilos, and I believe it connects to your smartphone and you can control a bunch of things over here. But again, absolute beauty aesthetically as well. Naturally, we have other options too. For example, we have Frigidaire, we have Whirlpool. The Frigidaire washer is going to be similar size to the one we just saw. It's going to be roughly 800 US dollars. This one's going to be a bit more, 1,100 US dollars. So again, definitely a lot of different options you can get. Something that's also very common in the Dominican Republic, and we're going to see that in a moment, essentially are stackable washer and dryers. Also, in the Dominican Republic, when you're purchasing an apartment or a house, in most cases an apartment, it's going to come in 70% of the cases with the kitchen appliances included. Now, you do not get to choose what level of the brands you get, right? You get what you get, which is a standard package. You're not going to be getting Samsung, that's for sure. You're going to be likely getting Frigidaire or something similar to that. Not that it's bad in any way, but typically you're going to get the stackable option we're going to see in a moment. Let's go check it out so you guys are familiar with that as well. Now we're in the section of the stackable washer and dryers. As I was mentioning, this is the most common scenario in a Dominican household. My own household has this same washer and dryer combination. Essentially, we do have Whirlpool here, Mabe. I'm not sure. This is the first time I see this brand. I'm not sure how to pronounce it properly. We also have Whirlpool, and we have the Samsung option too. Now, this is great in a lot of condos because it does fit the space properly. It optimizes it properly. So, for example, if you do not have, of course, space for both the washer and the dryer, one next to each other, the vertical option does optimize the space the most. So, for example, here we're looking at a Whirlpool one, which is currently discounted. So whenever you see the oferta sign, it means there's a current promotion on it. This one is going to be roughly 1,300 US dollars. Again, we have the top load over here, and we have the dryer on the top side for Whirlpool, of course. Then we have this one, which is new, and it actually looks pretty good, called Mabe. We do have pretty much the same thing. I think the size is 24 kilos, and here we have 44 pounds. So it's pretty much similar size-wise, and this is going to be the same price too, 1,300, also currently discounted. We have the Whirlpool option as well, slightly smaller, and naturally we even have the top of the line Samsung bespoke stackable unit, and both of them are front load. Of course, this is going to be also the most expensive options, but it's absolutely amazing. We're looking at roughly this is going to be 2,000 $300 US roughly. But look at that, connects to your phone as well. And I'm sure it does a terrific job at washing clothes, but these are also great options. And most commonly, once again, if you buy an apartment with the kitchen appliances included, you can expect to receive something like this included in your purchase. In this section of the store, you can find a lot of the water dispensers. Something important to know about the Dominican Republic, which most of you do know, is that you cannot drink tap water anywhere on the island, no matter how much a certain gated community does process the water. For example, Casa Cana, Punta Cana Resort, they do have a better quality of water in general, but you still cannot drink it, right? So what you do, essentially, you can buy a water dispenser like this, and there's, of course, bottled water that you buy, which is bottled water. It comes in a large tank over here. You just put it on top, essentially, and you can dispense it right here, and it's drinkable water. It is very affordable too. Or you can buy, for example, one of these where you just put it down and then you connect it that way. Something like this is gonna be roughly $300 US for this one. And by Whirlpool, you're gonna be looking at roughly $350 US. Again, we have different levels here too. You can get something simpler, which is gonna be this one over here for about $160 US. That is one option. Another option, of course, is to simply install a water filtration system in your condo for the entire condo or just for the kitchen. There's definitely a bunch of options available that do minimize the struggle of having to buy water. But there's also water delivery service where they do deliver these large tanks of water that you can connect over here, right? So we do have a solution for everything in DR, but it's important not to drink the tap water, of course. Continuing down with this section of the store, we can actually find AC units, right? Very important. Again, a lot of the condos you purchase are gonna come with a certain setup of AC units, but a lot of them do not come with AC units, especially houses. Should you buy a house in pre-construction, it's most likely not gonna have any AC installed, right? So here we're gonna be taking a look at what's available when it comes to these console wall units. Again, we have different brands here. For example, a Whirlpool that actually has 11,000 BTU. It's going to be roughly $500 for this AC unit over here at the very top right. Besides that, for General Electrics, the 12 BTU one is going to be also about $500. So they're all more or less kind of $500 in this range. But if we take a look, of course, at Samsung inverter one with 18 BTU, so this is a stronger one. This one is going to be about $900 US for a unit like this. Again, inverter ones are known to save energy a lot, so you do want to get an inverter one when buying AC units as well. We are going to look at the Panasonic one, which is also inverter, if I'm not mistaken, and this one's going to be also about $900 US. Frigidaire is going to be about $550 US, inverter too, right? So you do have different ranges depending on what you guys are looking for. But from what I can tell here, the most affordable of all of these is going to be the Whirlpool over there, the Expert Energy Saver. Again, starting at about $500, it ranges up to about $900, $1,000 per unit, depending on the brand and the strength you're looking for. And guys, before we wrap up the AC tour, I also wanted to mention that in this section of the store, we can find the dehumidifiers. This is beyond important, especially if you live close to the water here. Naturally, this is a humid area. It can get very humid in the Dominican Republic, in Punta Cana especially, right? So this helps tremendously remove that moisture from the air. So you can get that here in Casa Cuesta Electro. This one is gonna be starting at about $150, $160 US for the 17-liter capacity. Very important that you get this. We have, I think, the smaller ones too. This one's gonna be about $40. Of course, if you get this and you live oceanfront or very close to the water, it's gonna be filling up very frequently. So I always recommend, especially if you have a bigger apartment or a house, get a couple of these, depending, of course, where you're located per se. But a great idea and definitely something I recommend. Besides what we've seen so far, you can also get a bunch of other appliances, which are irons, hair dryers, irons for the hair, right? So hair straighteners, a bunch of other things you can get, all those small household appliances, all of that is available here in Casa Cuesta Electro. And now let's let's check out the TV options, of course, that we can get in this store. The range of prices again varies on the very size. For example, should you want to get a 40-inch TV over here, you're going to be looking at roughly $200 for a 40-inch TV. But of course, moving down this way, we get a bigger size ones as well. For example, 85-inch TV by Samsung, of course, which is naturally a smart TV. We have this one at $1,700 for a massive size TV like this. Of course, going up this way, we also have smart TVs by different brands. We have a Konex over here, which is gonna be 65 inches at $500, which is a great price for such a size TV. And over here, I actually noticed a 98-inch TV, which is huge, right? Now I actually know how big that looks. So for example, this one over here is going to be roughly $3,700 for a 98 Samsung Smart Inch TV. Of course, this is, I think, the most expensive one they have in store in general, but there's really nice options this way as well. We have a 65-inch TV by Samsung as well at roughly $1,500, discounted from $2,600, right? So this is pretty much almost, yeah, this is 50% off, or actually more than 50% off for this one over here. But we do have other brands, not only Samsung in the store. So for example, here, there's also different options that you can get. We have TCL over here. That's going to be for a 75-inch TV, about $800. And here, from what I can tell, we also have Hisense, which is going to be for a 50-inch one, about $500, right? So a lot of different options depending on what you guys are looking for, but this is a great place to get those for your house or a condo. Before we wrap up the video, it's very important to mention as well that they do delivery of anything you purchase here. For example, if you want to buy washer and dryer, hood, range, whatever you guys decide to buy, they do offer delivery straight to your home in Punta Cana, wherever you're located. Very important as well is that they do have people, official people that actually do know how to install all of this, and they do come to your home and install everything. This way you still have the warranty covered on your appliances that you get. Because right now these technicians do come from Santo Domingo for the installation, there's a small surcharge, typically up to about $50 for them to come from there to your home and of course make sure everything is installed properly. But it's very important that they actually do deliver everything, which is absolutely tremendous. You can just come here, pick out everything you want, and it will be delivered straight to your home. Guys, that was it for the tour of Casa Cuesta Electro. One of the largest dangers whenever I do these tours that I always end up buying something because there's just so many cool gadgets inside. But yes, this is a beautiful store, definitely worth checking out when getting your condo or house delivered in Cap Cana, Punta Cana. When you're buying property here, it's always good to know where to go to get those kitchen appliances for your apartment or house. Important also to mention that Casa Cuesta Electro actually belongs to the CCN group, which are the same people behind the Nacional Supermarket, Mercajumbo, all of those that I've already showed to you guys. Again, they have fantastic products and it's always worth checking them out whenever getting appliances, of course, or different products in Punta Cana. If you guys haven't seen my Casa Cuesta video, definitely check that one out. I'm gonna link it up here because there you can also find beautiful household items and also some of the kitchen appliances there. Again, it is the same group of people, but these are located right next to the Nacional Supermarket, so make sure to check that out as well. As usual, thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to see more of these videos or have a suggestion on the next one you would like to see, make sure to drop it down below in the comments. And of course, make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.